welcome everyone to Rupununi Music and Art Festival 2020, the virtual edition. I'm Luke Johnson, I'm the volunteer coordinator, and I've been with the festival since 2014, and I can assure you that what you're about to witness is a spectacle. With me here is Gavin Mendonzo.
Hi guys, I started off as an artist performing for the first time in 2015 at the second edition of the festival, and the festival just grabbed onto me and I became a volunteer. And now here we are bringing to you this special virtual edition of the festival where we'll be bringing to you memories of the years past. We can't be together physically, but we got all of this content to share with you. And a lot of you never came to the Rupununi to see the festival in person, but we can give you a little taste of it. We're also paying special tribute to two of our dearly departed patrons, George Simon and Miss Diane McTurk, who are very instrumental in the success of the festival.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy the memories that we are sharing with you. And remember that this is just a taste of what is in store to come.
Hey guys, I'm Gavin here in Guyana, the home of the Rupununi Music and Arts Festival, and it's my absolute delight to welcome you to this very special online edition of the Rupununi Music and Arts Festival.
Hello, I'm Jaslyn in Barbados. I'm the festival administrator. So welcome. I'd usually be standing at the gate saying hello to everybody as you come through the gates, but COVID-19 means that we have to do things differently. So I'm not there to welcome you, but I'm here to welcome you. And it's the same vibe. It's all the good memories. It's all the fun that we normally have for our festival. So welcome.
Hi, I'm Sandrine from France. I've been in the Rupununi Music and Art Festival team since 2017. Nous avons un événement génial sur YouTube et Facebook le 20 décembre. Soyez nombreux à nous rejoindre. Bye bye.
Hello. Well, you've heard from the great folks on the team. I am Bob Ramdani, one of the co-founders of the festival, which started in 2014 at Anai in Rockview. The beautiful thing about life is no matter what the obstacles are, like currently the COVID pandemic, we are able to see, meet each other, greet each other. And the beautiful thing too is if we can share music, we can really share life. For the next few moments and for the next few months, we'll be running a series of festival memories from 2014 up to 2019. We look forward for you joining us. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hi, good morning. I'm delighted to be talking to Keith Waits from, well, I should say from Guyana, but living in London. And
Yeah.
Keith was one of the founding members and was at the first festival. Keith Waits, welcome to Memories from the Rupununi Festival. How are you doing?
I'm very good, Bob. So good to speak to you, and I'm glad to see that you're all still keeping it alive because it's so important for Guyana.
And really, as you know, when we spoke about a camping festival in the very first year in 2014, people were laughing at us.
Yeah, yeah, I
Nah,
remember that.
this is not going to happen. This is not. Tell us a little bit more about your experience there, coming off the plane, the excitement you felt.
Well, one of the things I really always remember is how beautiful it was. Coming off, thinking about the rainforest, thinking about all the wonderful young people from the Mukusi tribes and all the tribes that you work with. And I was so excited because it was really camping. And you work so hard, Bob, in getting those poles in and all that, man. I really admire you for that.
Well, you know something, Keith. When Dennis and I finished about 2 o'clock in the morning, that is now the Monday morning,
Yeah,
and we were working still in the bar. It was wet. The floors were wet. Our trousers, we were soaked. Our
yeah,
feet, and
yeah, yeah.
we hugged each other at one point and says, you know, we can't believe it. We've had the festival. It was just an impossible dream, I must say.
Yeah,
It was an impossible dream. So, talking about the
yeah.
festival, Keith, I know you're a brilliant musician. I know you've got a wonderful instrument. Why don't you share some music with us to bring back some memories
Yes, I
of
would love
the
to
first year?
play. Yeah, bring back some of the memories of that festival.
Yeah.
And I'll be sending you a short film too.
Okay.
Anyway, because not only was I able, because I don't know if you remember, I had Arif Dervish with me too, and the
Correct.
first festival,
Correct.
and now he's the world's top tabla player. So this is what I did, playing the flute and some songs, because the rainforest is so important to me. And that's the wind and the song. And those are some of the songs that I created.
Okay, my name is Dennis. I'm a tour guide in Guyana. I'm also a part of the Rupununi Music and Art Festival team. We've been in a lockdown so long, we miss the interior. There's so much to see and there's so much of things that happening. You could go on so much adventures, birding, fishing. You could go in the nights. You might even be lucky to see the jaguar.
4 years after her passing, her impact remains fresh in the minds of those whose lives she touched. Auntie D, Miss Diane, the Otter Lady. Diane McTurk was one of those rare and remarkable people that lit up a room when she stepped into it. I remember sitting with guests at Caranambo and marveling at her. She had the capacity to make each person, no matter how large the group was, feel as if they were special. And you could see in their faces. People think I'm joking when I say that every man she ever met fell in love with her, and every woman she met wanted just for a moment to be her. But that's the way people responded to Dee. And they would remember what she looked like, what she said to them years later. Though the second daughter to Tiny and Constance McTurk, Dee was the first of the McTurk children to be born at Caranambo. And whenever asked, she would say that she was indigenous to this place and did not see why she was not allowed to state it in her passport. She was descended from a long line of adventurers and trailblazers, of pioneers who had helped to shape British Guyana, a fact that she was immensely proud of. But the highest among them in her esteem would always be her father, Tiny. As much as Tiny McTurk has in the Rupununi become the stuff of legends and folk tales, I don't think he ever had a more devoted admirer than Diane McTurk. And there were few men in her life who would ever hold a candle to him. A Renaissance man of the Rupununi, to hear her tell it, there was nothing that her father could not do. They often described her childhood at Caranambo as growing up in paradise. And what is abundantly clear is that to Dee and her siblings, at least in their early life, clothing when worn was rare and an encumbrance to be suffered for the least possible time. Her father encouraged his children to be bold and inquisitive and untethered, while at the same time they were also raised with impeccable manners, a love for books, and a respect for education. At 5, Diane and elder sister Connie traveled for the first time by river to Georgetown, and for the sake of their education were given into the care of their paternal grandmother. Lizzie Sophia was an austere, bitter woman, often described as a refugee of the Victorian era, who inspired a hatred of attending church in all 3 of her Rupununi grandchildren. Eventually, Dee's education would lead her to Oxford, where she was supposed to read in English and history. Instead, fascinated with theatre and unknown to her parents, Diane enrolled among the first entries to the at that time new Oxford Playhouse School of Theatre. After another decade flittering back and forth across the Atlantic, Dee would eventually find her way permanently home to Caranambo in the autumn of her years, and to the greatest love of her life. Frankie, short for frankincense, a kingly gift at Christmas, would transform Diane's life and set her on a path that would eventually leave her impact on Guyana and the world at large. Dee's natural kinship with giant otters, boundless patience, and voluminous love would be instrumental in seeing the recovery of giant otters in the Rupununi River system in her lifetime and inspire conservationists around the world. To fund her quest to protect and care for the orphaned cubs, she would also engender the beginnings of experiential travel in the Rupununi. And the region's first tour package, Ranches of the Rupununi, was itself inspired by Dee's own favorite places to visit in childhood, when her father would take them on progress across the Rupununi to visit friends. Diane was, to those who met her, the epitome of grace and gentility, of hospitality, and for our child who hated clothes, an icon of fashion. She loved art and kept her personal collection in Georgetown with her friend Wendella Jackson. With no warning, she could slip into prose and had a type of beauty that even in her 80s was unfaded. She was a passionate woman and deeply devoted to the things she believed in, even famously taking on the government of the day when, in the aftermath of the Rupununi uprising, 8 young Amerindian men had been arrested. Dee won their release, intent that they were not to be made scapegoats for a rebellion that was not of their conceiving. In the days of working for the Ghana Sugar Producers Association, she was so vehement in her advocacy that Ghana should receive fair market value for its labors that a Canadian reporter commented, had she been a man and not white, she could have run for president. However, the same reporter was also obviously smitten with her, as he also spent an entire paragraph waxing on the shades of green in her eyes. Nonetheless, Diane shattered barriers about what a woman should be and etched her strength into the people and many organizations she chose to serve. Coming on to Christmas, it's hard not to think of Dee, not just because of her death anniversary on the 10th of December, but also because, despite all the protestations against the commercialization and hubbub of Christmas, it was her favorite time of year. We would spend hours out in the savannah in search of a Christmas tree that was just the right shape and fullness to meet Miss Diane's expectations. Decorations, the few that Karanambo always seemed to have, despite my attempts to grow the collection, would be lovingly taken out by the staff and placed artistically among the leaves. Carols had to be sung. If company was about, brandy butter had to be whipped, and her prized possession, a nativity scene handcrafted in beads and fabric by her big sister Connie, would be given pride of place every year. And regardless of how little there was for gifting, every member of staff or helper at Karanambo would receive a gift. A bit of fabric for a new skirt, new slippers, a penknife for her water dog Capitash, flip-flops for Alvin, or a new hat for Cecil. She never forgot anyone and never asked anything in return. Like her father before her, Dee was a master storyteller. And we all have stories we now call our own that were first birthed from her lips. Through her words, her ideas, and her shared dreams, she inspired us all to care for the protection of the Rupununi landscape, for her beloved beasts, for the Rupununi's history that she brought to life, and for the future seen through her eyes that she would set us on the path to achieving. In the words of Major General retired Joe Singh, her spirit voice will forever be carried on the wind along the rivers, savannas, and wetlands of the Rupununi, as she whispers the classic Greek names of her beloved otters.
So we're here with the Mighty Gabby at the Rupununi Music and Arts Festival, Georgetown Connection. The Mighty Gabby is no stranger to the festival. He was here for the second edition. He's here again. He's a 9-time Calypso Monarch winner and the youngest ever in Barbados. At the age of 19, he won his first title.
Yeah, a long time ago.
A long time ago, back in the, yeah. So Gabby, how you doing? And so glad to have you back. Why you come back? You love the festival, no? You love Guyana.
Gavin, I love Guyana. I tell people all the time, if there's one Caribbean country I feel totally at home outside of Barbados, it would be Guyana. I like the people, I like the food, I like how the place look. I just love this country. I love the vastness of it. I love the rivers. I love everything about Guyana.
That's so cool, man. Yeah, I know it's such a pleasure to be interviewing such a legend in Caribbean culture. So that's real cool. Plus, I get to play on your guitar.
Yeah.
Plus, we share a stage.
Yes, man.
Should write the album together.
Yeah, man. I would love that.
And of course, you have worked with Guyanese icon Eddie Grant.
Oh, Eddie Grant is my buddy. He is my friend. He is my mentor, advisor. Eddie Grant is so much things to me, you know what I mean? Like, Eddie is the one that really took my music up. Like, I mean, it was always there, but like when Eddie began to record my music, then people begin to hear the quality, you know, of the music. So like, I can't pay back a man like him. I'll never be able to repay him, you know. Like,
anytime
I just love him dearly. I can tell you that.
Anytime I put on a pair of boots, I remember the Mighty Gabby.
Yeah. All those songs Eddie did, Jack, Boots, Hit It, Dr. Cassandra, Wayne Force, Emerton, Bridgetown, you name it. And all of my recordings after Eddie moved to Barbados was done by Eddie Grant.
So tell us a bit about how you first got involved in the Rupununi Music and Arts Festival.
Well, that was through Bob. Danny just called me one day and asked me if I'd be interested. And to me, that's like asking Muhammad Ali to say a few words, because I mean, it is like, yes, automatically. I always wanted to go in the interior and Rupununi. I've been in the interior before, but not such a long distance all up to Anai. You know, I had to take plane to get there. But you know, it was such a wonderful experience to be with the Amerindian people and you know, seeing them living in their own environment, and it was beautiful. You know, yeah,
and you had everybody dancing. You stole the show in the Rupununi. So
well,
I mean, young performers yet for the night.
Not yet.
But I can imagine what's gonna happen. Yeah, man.
I believe that the response is going to be good because it's my first time ever performing in Georgetown. I've never performed in Georgetown.
History being made at the festival.
Yeah, I've never performed in Georgetown. I've always come here on vacation. I come here and go all over the country or see my friends and, you know, things like that. But to actually perform in Georgetown, there's an honor.
Alright, cool. Well, we're here with the Mighty Gabby at the Rupununi Music and Arts Festival, Georgetown Connection. Mighty Gabby, thanks for the chat, and we're gonna rock the stage later.
Hey man, thank you.
Cool.
You're singing good. Is it necessary to shine soldier boots with taxpayers' money? What is it? No. Well, don't tell me, tell Tommy, he put them in St. Lucie, unemployment high, and the treasury low, and he buying boots to cover soldier toe. I see them boots and more boots. On the feet are young, trigger happy recruits. I see them boots and more boots. They marching their army troops. Tell them I say, what they do, we got to see. But me and you, and most of all the children, and stop them soldiers necessary to hire them soldier jokers to out of fire. I can't hear ya. No. I was it right to get them weapons. They claim was unloaded to shoot Vincentians. How will you say? Well, don't tell me, tell the man, he sent them to Vinci land. Gun in their hand, making a stand to quell a non-existent rebellion with all them boots and more boots. And the figure young, trigger happy recruits. I see them boots and more boots. Marching, threatening army troops. Tell them I say, that's what they do. We got to see, but me and you, and most of all the children, and stop them soldiers from marching. Left, right, the government moves, the government moves. 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 Can we afford to feed that army when so many children naked and hungry? I can't hear ya. Oh yes, the song ain't good. Can we afford to remain passive while that soldier army growing so massive? I said no. Well, don't tell me, Mash Tommy's, he giving them 4 square meals. Some of them so fat, they could hardly run, but they shooting bullseye with automatic gun. With all them boots and more boots. On the feet of young, trigger happy recruits. I see them boots and more boots. Marching, threatening army troops. Tell them I say, that's what they do. We got to see, but me and you, and most of all the children, and stop them soldiers from marching. Left, right, in the government moves, the government moves. Left, right, in the government moves, the government moves. Left, right, in the government moves, the government moves. Left, right, in the government moves. I hear them boots and more boots. On the feet of young, trigger happy recruits. I see them boots. Woo! All right.
Don't go anywhere, people. Stay tuned for more.
Hi guys, this is Ramona Chandrabali. I've been a volunteer with the Rupununi Music and Arts Festival since 2015, and I'm excited for you to join us in the coming days as we celebrate the Rupununi Music and Arts Festival in 2020. This year we're going to honor our past patrons, George Simon and Diane McTurk, and we hope you can join us. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Good night. This poem is entitled Water by 2J the Poetic Weirdo. Land of many waters, land of many waters, that is where I am from. Yes, Diana, I am your son. I now understand why my indigenous ancestors called this land the land of many waters. I recently heard someone from the outside calling this the watery wilderness, wondering why they are hating on our beautiful watery land of rich resources. That trusts me into a wanderlust to see your waters, the richest resources of all. No wonder why the high tide don't waste no time to say hi on the coastline. Even when I journey into your body on the highlands, on the backs of your savannas, no matter how high I rise, you manage to flood our land. Resting your head on the shoulders of mountains, your body in the rainforest. In the Rupununi, the May June rain don't flood this land. But it is the river stretching itself and returning to its land. This land we walk on belongs to the waters, the savannas, the rainforests. The foot of every mountain belongs to the land. In the dry season, the water pours itself back into the river, leaving a rich land for us to farm on. For the savanna grass to grow on, and on the wet season, it returns to replace the richness of the land. I said that this our answer of many waters. We are rich with rivers, lakes, springs, waterfall, and most of all, we are rich within the ground. Water runs in and around the mountains. What is the greatest resources that we have in this land, so we must protect it. Land of many waters, literally. We got the tropical mist, aqua mist, diamond, rainforest, blue waters, crystal springs, and black waters. I wonder what water really is. To me, water is the embodiment of the manifestation of our spirituality. Water can be the very thing that binds our soul, mind, and body together. Water exists beyond our state of mind. It exists in every dimension spectrum of life. Beyond depth, the depth within the depths of this universe. Water is magic. Ever felt electricity coursing through your body whenever stimulating a calming feeling deep within your soul, like a calming river running gold in your spirit? And you wish that this weather would never change. Water is magic. Water is pure energy. Water is life. Water is the spiritual static. I remember standing under a tree, listening to raindrops beating on the leaves, hitting the earth, and I heard the mystical rhythm flowing through the air, sending me into a trance, and I started to dance in the rain. The water was never afraid to touch my broken body, to mend the pain, because when I cry in the rain, you would never see my tears. I can feel the magic of water electrically healing my wounds. But water is beyond our physical world. Water breaks the rules of nature. Water is a mystery, a solid, a gas, a liquid. It is all three. Freeze it, warm it, boil it, and you will see. The cells are the building blocks of life, but water is life. I spent 9 months in water being formed into a human being. I learned how to swim before I could even take my first breaths. Water dwells within. My body, when my body overheats, water flows to cool my skin. When I am sad, water washes the pain away. The human body is made up of 60% of water, so basically, I am a water being. This land is the land of many waters, our greatest resource. So we must protect our waters, we protect our land, and in exchange we protect ourselves. And remember, stay hydrated, because water is life. To the poetic way to water.
That was a nice performance, eh?
Hey, that will bring back some memories. And I can't wait to see more. Y'all stay tuned. We're here
More
at
is
the
coming.
Rupununi Music and Arts Festival.
Don't touch that dial.
Or press X.
remember when I was a little boy, my grandfather said to me, "Son, you will walk this, you will walk, look." I said, "Grandfather, how can you say that?" He said, "Well, you see the mole and the sole of your feet, that means you will walk this country." I said, "Don't be afraid. I will give you something very special. I will give you something very special. I will give you Bibichi as your guiding spirit. Don't be afraid." I remember I was working many years after in Uriella, and very quietly in the forest, I was sitting there looking at some pottery, and suddenly a woman appears to me, a woman appears from the bushes, very old, frail. She said to me, "Son, what are you doing there?" I said, "Well, I'm looking for places where people lived long ago." She said, "You don't do that. You don't interfere with these people. Their spirits are very strong and they can hurt you. Come, I will give you something very special to protect you. Come tomorrow." I went the next day and she gave me a bundle of tobacco. She gave me a bottle that contains some very beautiful smelling herb. She said, "You rub this on your skin, your body, and this will protect you. And if you have some alcohol, the spirit's like that. So when you go into the forest and you go into those caves looking for where people live, you'll be protected." I remember I was in Paramakotoi many years after, and I was doing some work with a very good friend of mine from Oxford University. He was an archaeologist like myself. We went to a cave site, and there in this cave, at the roof of the cave, was a pot, not much bigger than this. And the rounded mouth of the pot was a serpent. There was a serpent eating its tail. It was a very significant find. More significant, however, was some bones that were in there. They were human bones. We can tell that these bones were being used, they were broken. We can tell someone has been using these bones. I said to my friend Neil, "Please don't take any of these bones away. We'll return the pot into the cave." And I remember that we were making our way to the village the next day. That night, he fell very, very sick. He started to vomit. He started to have fever. He started to have diarrhea. He became very weak, but he was determined to continue to the next village the next day. He collapsed along the way. I remember we sat by a spring that day, and he cried, he shivered. He was shivering like this, and he said, "George, I'm gonna die. What's gonna happen to my family, my children?" I said, "Neil, no, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. We'll get some help from the village tomorrow." We took him into the village, and we spent almost a week there. One morning, he said to me, "George, I am so weak, I will not be able to carry on." I said, "No, you'll be fine. Let's wait and you'll be better." He says, "No, it's them bones." I said, "What you mean, them bones?" He said, "I have some bones in my backpack." I said, "Neil, you should not have taken the bones." He said, "Yes, I did. I wanted to take it back with me to test it, to see how old the person was, what killed the person, how the person died." However, I took the bones away, and in the distance there was a tree, and I took it far away to the tree root and I left it there. I took some of my tobacco and left it with the bones. I remember that he recovered and he was fine again. We met again in 2012 in the Berbice River. We were doing some excavation and we had dug a pit on this mound of very dark earth. And in the mound there were lots of pottery. You can see that people had lived there for hundreds and hundreds of years. In fact, the carbon date for that particular mound was 5,000 before present, 3,000 years before Christ. It was a magnificent find. But while we were digging the trench, we had engaged about 10 local individuals, and during the course of the excavation, the pit collapsed and almost killed these men. However, he asked me, George, do you have your tobacco? Do you have your medicine with you? I said, yes. He said, can you perform a little ceremony? So I did. I got some tobacco and I sprinkled it into the excavation site, and I got some alcohol. I brought my alcohol with me on that occasion, and I went around the site and I took the alcohol and I dust the place. Sadly, the following year, Neil died. We had done the excavation in September. I hadn't heard from him until the end of the year, being Christmas. I wrote to him and I asked, what's the silence about? He says, I've been very sick. He wrote again, like 3 months after, like January, February, March, I heard from him. He said, George, I'm very, very sick. I've been diagnosed with cancer. A week or so after he died, Neil passed away. It saddened me, of course. We had become very good friends. We were very close. But I really wonder why I have not been ill, why I can go into the forest, I can go into these caves, and nothing happens to me. Is it the long hair that I have? Is it the tobacco that I carry? And the occasional white rum that I carry for the spirits? I wonder really what it is. I wonder if it was Bibichi's spirit that is watching over me. I really wonder.
Ingas kata, I wonder.
Alright. We're getting some dances now. Are you ready? Are you ready to do the Matapi? There we go. Sawa bodeda la uyua moga mamata piesa kejawa marita kako sawa bodeda tomata pique tomata mata pique tomata pi mata pique tomata pi mata pique tomata pi. Sawa bodeda, keka pro wanda ha to to koma. Chawa Harwa harwa kutaha, kejawa marita, kapo sawa bodega tomata, pique tomata, mata pique tomata, mata pique tomata, mata pique tomata.
Good night, everybody. I think it's quite a privilege for our group that was recently formed to participate and showcase what we have now begin to explore. Well, not explore in the sense that it is new, but for Indigenous young people in Georgetown, there seems to be a disconnection once we leave our hinterland areas, but we're trying to put a stop to that by forming our own group. So the shaman's dance basically is to reflect what normally happens when a shaman is practicing a traditional chant or a healing ceremony and so forth. Nagibenu magunaimo namanumuzera sarabe aquarineka nabona namanundane amungamok aquaritega.
Hi, good evening to all, wherever you are in the world. And I'm really delighted to say that for the next, not hours, don't get scared, for the next few minutes, I'm going to be in the wonderful company of Carolyn Rodriguez Burkitt. Is that correct, Carolyn?
That's correct.
Who in actual fact came to our very first festival in Guyana in 2014. But because this program is being dedicated to the memories of two of our patrons, George Simon and Auntie Diane McTurk, we'll start by reminiscing about those two wonderful characters and the contribution they've made not only to Guyana, but also globally. Carolyn, welcome to Memories of Rupununi Music Arts and Festival. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Bob, and it's good to see you and good to see that you are doing well too.
Well, you know, age is only a factor. We have to keep going. And if we believe in something, then that's the path that takes us to many interesting places. Tell us, first of all, Carolyn, what was your relationship? Let's start with, you must have known George Simon. Tell us about your experiences with George.
Yes, I was very happy to know George. In fact, I met him somewhere around 1994. I was a young officer at CIMAP, the Social Impact Amelioration Program, and George was working at the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs back then on a program called the Amazon Program, working with various Amerindian communities. I was doing the same at CIMAP, so we naturally connected and discussed the projects that we were doing. But over time, I came to know George not just as a project manager, but as a very astute person representing the rights of Indigenous peoples, but also an excellent artist. And so we became very good friends. I sought from time to time, when I was the Minister of Amerindian Affairs, his good advice, and he provided it freely. So yes, I have come into contact with George, and I think I'm better for it.
Well, of course, we all admire his wonderful artwork and so, and as a human being, because he also, not only being a patron, he attended festivals of ours. But significantly, can you look back on his life and the sort of contribution he made on behalf of, for, because of his Amerindian people?
You know what is sad, I would say, Bob, is now that George is no longer with us, we can actually recount and count just how much he has contributed to the arts, to Indigenous people's development, and to start from a very basic place as a role model. As someone coming from a small Amerindian village, St. Cuthbert's Village, and being able to make his way in Guyana, but not just in Guyana, elsewhere around the world, and standing side by side with renowned artists, I would say, you know, that's a phenomenal achievement. But whatever George was doing and wherever he was working, he was very conscious of who he was, and that was as an Indigenous person. And he was very conscious that the statistics, not only in Guyana, but throughout the world, showed that Amerindian people were at the top where they shouldn't be and at the bottom where they shouldn't be. And so we had many discussions about how we can improve that situation, whether it's in education, whether it's through putting in place the right laws. And so, you know, we discussed a lot of this, and I was very pleased that we were able to move in Guyana and putting in place the Amerindian Act. And in that, we cater for, you know, the cultural aspects of our Indigenous communities, but we were also able to talk about art, and he had many exhibitions, as you would know. He was part of the very first festival that you played a major role in organizing. I thought you were a little bit crazy at first to do it, but it came off very well. And so I think his contribution. I've seen several short you know, YouTube videos and several write-ups and so on. But perhaps it is something we should do, you know, consolidate what his contributions were, and so that we can share it with this generation and the next generation, not only, you know, in Indigenous peoples, but Guyanese on the whole, and others who are interested in the areas that George was interested in.
In 2019, I was thrilled to be invited to Guyana now as a duo. I invited my friend from Nottingham, Rob Ross, an amazing violin player, to join me, and we created a program of Eastern European songs. And because I was so thrilled to go to Guyana second time, and I remembered my beautiful memories from the first time, I wanted to come to Guyana not empty-handed, not with just my music, but I wanted to create something for the festival, something about my experience of Guyana and how I enjoyed it. So I went online and I started looking for Guyanese poetry, and I found online this amazing poet, Dimitri Alikok, who's been writing about beautiness of Guyana for many years. And one particular poem that really talked to my heart and really explained what I saw in Guyana and my feelings about the place. It was called Beautiful Guyana. And I put this poem to music and created, as we call it, Guyana song, which describes the nature and the variety of people who live in there, and peacefulness and sunshine, which we performed on the in the festival in 2019, and I hope it will live in Guyana for many years to come.
So I do hope you will join us in singing. And we would go like this. Guyana, such a sweet name to me, to me. Guyana, such a
Well, ladies and
Thank you.
gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Kevin, Chucky. You made it special for us. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Ransford Simon. I'm from Rio, Region 9. I attended the art school in 2017. This is where I met George Simon. It was an honor meeting George for the first time in 2017. But after I left Boros, I could imagine how much I used to want to meet George during the art school. But nonetheless, George was like more like my father. He used to tell everybody that he's his son, so it used to be hard touching to me. And George, he was one of my inspiration, to be honest. I always tell people that he's my big brother, but George influenced me in all kind of ways. He taught me to how to make money out of art more, to reach out to people, how to connect with people. And we also went up to St. Cuthbert's together at one time, and experience with George was just full of energy. He just up for anything, and which is real good, and I am just happy I met George. The best experience I had with George was working on a painting at Castellani House. So I did a sketch before, a small sketch, and George had asked me to do it bigger. So it was my first time going that big, and it was 6 by 4 feet, and I was excited. So every day it took me like a week and a half, and every day I used to talk to George. He used to come criticize, or he'd tell me something nice, but most times it'd be something good. And the way he like talked to me, the way he used to, whenever I doing a painting, working on a painting, like the stuff he used to put through my mind, like to think about it while painting, it was just a boost for me, because George Simon talking to me, telling me this thing real good, and making a way for me, like I didn't see, like I didn't know I had all the potential. So thanks to George for that.
Oh my lover, ganja money. You bring me to Georgetown, ganja money. You bring me to Georgetown to experience a slice of the Rupununi Music and Arts Festival, which is scheduled for November 13 to 15, 2020 at Manari Ranch. So come next year. Ganja money. Ganja money, yeah. Ganja money, oh. Give me my shilling. Ganja money. I all hear your ganja money, yeah. What? Ganja money, oh. Give me my shilling. Ganja money. Ganja money, yeah. Ganja money, oh. Give me my shilling. Ganja money. Ganja money, yeah. Ganja money, oh. Give me my shilling. Ganja money. Yeah, me want $1. Ganja money. Yeah, me want $2. Ganja money. Yeah, me want $3. Ganja money. Yeah, me want $1. Ganja money. Hey, ganja money, yeah. Ganja money, oh. Give me my shilling. Ganja money. Yeah, give me my shilling. Ganja money. Want one nice shilling. Ganja money. Yes, it's good for cancer. Ganja money. Them the kind of cancer. Ganja money. We say even skin cancer. Ganja money. It's good for glaucoma. Ganja money. Hey, ganja money, yeah. Ganja money, oh. Give me my shilling. Ganja money. He said, don't give me my shilling. Ganja money. He said, don't give me my shilling. Ganja money. He said, don't give me my shilling. Ganja money. Everybody. Ganja money. I can't hear you. Ganja money. Everyone. Ganja money. Yeah. Ganja money. Yeah. Ganja money. What? Ganja money. Yeah. Ganja money. Oh. Nothing else can hand me down after a hard day, but yeah, all I want is your love. Always hard day, ganja money, you know, keep me up on my toes, high above the nose. So we get first, Mary J. They don't see what we see, you know. So them hate giving you what my name say you're a bad thing, but if you was a lady to me, you'd be a queen. Always got your crown on your head 'cause you Ganja mania, ganja mania. Break me off a pieces like ease on my soul. Ganja mania, ganja mania. Break me off a pieces like ease on my soul. Call it marijuana. Ganja mania. Freedom in my coffee. Ganja mania. It's a herb from the garden. Ganja mania. Make your active better. Ganja mania. Conscious people use it. Ganja mania. But you should never abuse it. Ganja mania. Decriminalize it. Ganja mania. So the economy could benefit. Ganja mania. One please don't be ignorant. Ganja money. Only Jah pass the judgment. Ganja money. Learn about the benefits. Ganja money. What's all many cigarettes? Ganja money. Ganja money. Oh, give me my shilling. Ganja money. Ganja money. Ganja money. Oh, give me my shilling. Ganja money. Ganja money. Oh, give me my shilling. Ganja money. He said ganja money. Ganja money. Oh, give me my shilling. Ganja money. Give me my shilling. Ganja money. Give me my shilling. Ganja money. He said, "Don't give me my shilling." Ganja money. Thank you and good night. My man, I see you in front there. Enjoy the rest of your night. We got 2 awesome acts over.
Hi, everybody. This is Julia the Jaguar. Hope you're enjoying the show.
Hi, my name is Frank Willison. I'm born in Guyana and I lived abroad for most of my life. I've been in the music business for all my life until I returned to Guyana. Then I started doing something else, um, doing the consulting of marketing, and I'm now into construction. I met Bob when he first came to Guyana about the festival. I believe Guyana needs to have some sort of musical festival because they never had that in Guyana. I think I went to one of Bob's first festivals and it was quite enjoyable um, with the talent he had. Might not be the greatest talent in the world he had, but we did enjoy the whole concept of it. I do believe if Bob get the right talent and the right people for the festival, the Rupununi Festival could become one of the biggest festivals in the entire Caribbean because Guyana, we call ourselves a part of the Caribbean, and it even could become a very big part for northern Brazil. I think the whole concept of the festival is a great thing. I think the Guyana needs to have this. When I first came to Guyana, somebody have approached me from the president of Guyana at the time, I think was Bar Jagyo was the president, for me to put on an international festival and let him. But you live in Guyana, it never happened. And then the next thing I see was Bob, and I thought I was so happy of Bob doing this. I've been back in Guyana for 10 years, so I know this festival has to be close to about 10 years going. So I think the whole Rupununi Festival could end up being something special for Guyana and will be something special for Guyana as long Bob and his crew keeps putting it on every year. I think one day it will happen. Somebody of some name will want to play at the Rupununi Festival, like some other festivals around the world. I can't remember the name of the festival. It started off people, just unknown people, and it's become a massive festival now happen. I think Guyana needs to have this. I think they need to have a big name out of Brazil, a big name out of North America, and it will bring people in to show them the beauty of Guyana and the beauty of the whole Essequibo region.
You're killing me softly. It's your touch. It's clearly to see right now that without you I'm just lost. I can hardly breathe from your absence. I really miss the sound in your voice. My heart's torn out into pieces, 'cause you drain it up with your love. I'll go back to the moment when you first said that you care. I'll go back to the day when everything else seemed okay. I'll go back. I'll go back. I'll go back. I'll go back to when you said you love me. When you said you love me. If I had the chance to take what we had, I'll never leave. But you chose to lie. You spend all your nights preoccupied. I'm begging for your eyes to meet mine. I wish we had something real again to feel again. Something that's worth fighting for. I'll go back to the moment when you first said that you care. I'll go back to the day when everything else seemed okay. I'll go back. I'll go back. I'll go back. I'll go back to when you said you loved me. When you said you love me. You said you love me. Thank you guys so much.
Do you remember when you were planning to sling me in a tree? I remember we used to go through the cattle trail. Forget about those bad days, but the good days when we used to have lots of cattle going through to the Berbice, to the coast, through the cattle trail. Remember? I do remember. I did it, so I could tell you again. Yes, it was those beautiful days. We hope those days come back again. Yes, that's why we are here. I will give you, my friend, for you to remember a little story in poetry. This poetry is entitled Missing. The evening was late and lonely, but the sun was in all its glory. As I sat spellbound on those hills of Rupununi, admiring the natural Rupununi beauty. Around me, the rolling green and yellow savanna land. To the east of me, the majestic Macarapa. Away to the distant south, the mighty blue Kanaku. And beautified by the sunset, the well-known Pacaraimas too. As I sat there soliloquizing, it dawned on me that something was missing. As I gazed away into the Rupununi evening, I focused my mind on some good reason. Visible for miles was the dusty old trail and crisscrossing of tracks. A few ranch houses, barns, and empty corrals seemed to be only shacks. No vaqueros on the Great Plain doing their normal chores of riding, lassoing, and singing out their regular yee-hoo. All that were moving were donkeys fighting, so sickening. Something was missing, physically missing. As I stared across this great vaquero range, the idea of missing cattle seemed so strange. Could you imagine that cattle were missing? The famous Rupununi cattle herd slowly diminishing. I remember the good old days from Tadanawa to Takama, chasing thousands of cattle over this vast Rupununi. Today, there are only occasional carcasses by the weather. Here, there on the Great Plain might be a lonely, tired rider. Or Rupununians, gone are the cattle days. No more bellowing, horse riding, or happy old ways. I wonder, could it be politics and development? Or is it rustling and poor management? The twilight, missing cattle, and hideous brain saddened the evening. The distant hooting of owls, the morning wind against hills, left me grieving. The cattle were gone over the border, and there is where I could search and no further. Over hills, throughout valleys, or on the plains, through a night, sunshine, or in rain. Here I'll roam, here I'll remain, determined to rear cattle once again.
Manda Calibro! This next song we're gonna sing for you. You know, in this time we are dealing with a crisis in the world, the climate crisis. And this is a song that was written many years ago, I think in the late 80s. But it talks about that, I can't breathe, I can't swim anymore. If I plant, it can't grow. It's hard to find things. So this next song is for that, and I want to remind us that the climate fight is real and it continues. There is a crisis, and we need to get involved. So let's go. lógica, lógica. Não posso respirar, não posso mais nadar, até estar morrendo na matemata. Se plantar não nasce, nasce não dá, a pepina boa é difícil de encontrar. Não posso respirar, não posso mais nada, até estar morrendo na matemata. Se plantar não nasce, nasce não dá, a pepina boa é difícil de encontrar. A depois estava aí na poluição comeu, a peixe do mar na poluição comeu, e o hoje está na poluição comeu. Comendo sobreviver, cadê depois estava aí na poluição comeu, a peixe no mar na poluição comeu, e eu pego onde está a poluição comeu, peixe comendo sobreviveu. Não posso respirar, não posso mais nada, até estar morrendo na matamata. Se plantar não nasce, nasce não dá, a tapinha boa é difícil encontrar. Não posso respirar, não posso mais nada, até estar morrendo na matamata. Se plantar não nasce, nasce não dá, a tapinha boa é difícil encontrar. Cadê depois estava aí na poluição comeu, a peixe no mar na poluição comeu, e o beijão que está na poluição comeu. Peixe comendo e sobreviver, cadê depois estava aí na poluição comeu, o peixe do mar na poluição comeu, e o beque onde está a poluição comeu, peixe comendo e sobreviveu. Olha, calibre. Não posso respirar, não posso mais nada, até estar morrendo, não vai plantar. Se plantar não nasce, nasce não dá, até pinga boa é difícil de encontrar. Não posso respirar, não posso mais nada, até estar morrendo, não vai plantar. Se plantar não nasce, nasce não dá, até pinga boa é difícil de encontrar. Cadê o que estava aí? A poluição comeu, a peixe no mar, a poluição comeu, eu vejo onde está a poluição comeu. Comendo e sobreviver, cadê o povo estava aí, a poluição comeu, a peixe do mar, a poluição comeu, e o beque onde está a poluição comeu, peixe comendo e sobreviver. Posso esperar, a poluição comeu, e o beque onde está a poluição comeu, peixe comendo e sobreviver. Oh, banda calibre.
hope you're enjoying the festival. That was a real cool performance. What y'all think about it? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to check out our website, and remember there's an option for you to donate so we can keep this festival alive next year.
And keep looking out for more that we'll be adding on our website further on in the coming months.
Stay tuned for more memories from the Rupununi Music and Arts Festival.
Good day, everyone. My name is Carlton Jurong, Sales and Marketing Banks Daish Limited, and proud sponsor of the Rupununi Music and Arts Festival. Our involvements started since in 2014, the inaugural year of the Music and Arts Festival. Bob Ramdani turned up in my office and said he had this wonderful idea about promoting Guyanese arts, and I said fine, loved it. We love local talent, we believe in local. And then he said there's a little catch, we're doing this in the Rupununi and there is going to be a beautiful mix here. That was an interesting sell, and immediately we believed in the project because it beautifully connected both the local arts and craft and culture with our wonderful interior. And the synergy is totally amazing and unique. And since then, it's been a wonderful relationship. There have been ups and downs. The festival hasn't really gotten where it's wanted to get to, but it's getting there. It's of course had, like everything else, a setback this year with the pandemic. But through the wonderful work of Bob and the volunteers, it's been an amazing journey. It's been showcasing our craft, our culture. And we are at Banks are totally elated to be a part of this process and this journey of delivering this, the wonderful world of Guyanese, not only Guyanese, but culture into the mix and in our very beautiful interior down in Lethem, in the Lethem area. This year, they're doing something really special, and we're honored to be a part of it. They're honoring two icons of culture and in Guyana, Mr. George Simon and Miss Diane McTurk, who are both patrons of the festival. Both Mr. Simon and Miss McTurk, in their own right, were amazing people, legends in what they did, and have brought us a really wonderful way in terms of our cultural development. And we stand and support the Rupununi Music and Arts Festival as we honor these two wonderful people who would have left us recently. We urge everyone to listen out and be supportive as they do some work in the virtual space. We are all anxious to get back into the real world. We across the, it's been a very painful 2020. But sure enough, I believe that in 2021, we're going to become roaring back as soon as we can to make the Rupununi Music and Arts Festival come to the level that we expect it to. It's going to be a wonderful project eventually. It's going to bloom, and it's going to bloom beautifully. I thank you.
All the years I ever given, those final ones I spent to you, I would give everything I own, give up my life, my own. I would give everything I own, just to have you back again. Give me laughter when the world refused to smile. Yes, it will be true. Give me you can turn your world around, pick you up when you feel like that. Let's not quarrel. Let's not fight. Let's get together. We all can unite. special order. I must say a privilege to be here. Wherever I go, I have no fear. Your love will sure take me there. May sound crazy, I don't care. Just wanna live in your world. All that I ever want is you. The joy you bring, it makes me sing songs about love, deep within, a kind of love beyond compare. The love we share is the key that can open heaven's doors. Love is the key that will set you free. Love is the key that can open heaven's doors. Love is the key that will set you free. Love is the key that can open heaven's doors. Love is the key that will set you free.
Hi, hello. I am Carolina Andrade, and I have been a member of the Rupununi Music and Art Festival team since 2014 for the first event at Rockville in Anai. I am Brazilian coordinator. O festival é ótimo por aproximar as culturas mundiais e como a Guiana é a nossa vizinha, estamos construindo pontes, não apenas entre vizinhos, mas com outros artistas de diferentes culturas, né, ao redor do mundo. Este evento de celebração, ele tem a finalidade de celebrar a vida de Diane McTurco e também George Simon. E ao longo dos próximos meses, haverá muitos momentos maravilhosos, enquanto viajamos pelo caminho da memória de 2014 a 2019. Bem-vindo e aproveite esse ensaio para encontrar alguns de vocês quando nos encontrarmos novamente em 2021. Até mais!
Well, everybody, I hope you're enjoying the show so far, bringing you all the best memories from the Rupununi Music and Arts Festival over the years, from Rockview to Manari to Georgetown to here, virtually on YouTube and Facebook. So, as we talk about memories, look, you've been a part of the festival since day one in 2014. I know you got multiple favorite memories of the festivals, but which one is really stand out? What was one of your favorite memories?
Well, I'll tell you the truth, Gavin. I do have a lot, and there are so many that are really special, but for me, one of my favorites is arriving at Rockview and seeing nothing, and then in the space of a few days, the festival was up and running. That was like, it was like seeing something emerge out of
It's
nothing.
real magic.
It's like
It's
magic.
real magic.
I think that's one that stays with me. I mean, I can list a whole lot more, but there's so much. There's too much.
Well, I can tell you it was me on, and it stand up for me, I guess, because of the feeling that I get at the moment. But I remember in 2018 at Manari Ranch, I think it was on the second night, we in the middle of performance, blackout. You'd never think you could get blackout in the Rupununi, because where we get current, but we had a generator powering the whole festival. And for some reason, the gas get short-changed. Blackout, the stage cut off, all the lights cut off, we get plunged into pitch darkness. Pitch black darkness, except for the little moon and the stars. But the spirit of the festival would not let it stay in darkness. Right away, Chucky on the drums, them musicians from Brazil, the steel pan man, everybody just jump on the instruments, and out of the darkness, you start hearing music. Music just start, people start clapping, all of this, and then real magic happened. Because everybody that drove up to the festival, everybody using the diesel tank, the diesel vehicles, everybody, they form a line, and one by one, they empty the tank. And we form a line back to the generator, buckets of diesel getting passed down the line to the generator. And within 15 minutes, lights. The festival came back on. And that is the power of the festival, bringing people together. And that was real heartwarming.
But it's amazing how the two favorite memories we have are two memories of something that looked like a disaster.
Yeah.
Sorry.
For sure. There's a beauty of the whole thing. I tell you, we festival is real magic. And I know a lot of people haven't actually gotten to experience it as yet. So we're bringing you these virtual memories, we're telling you these stories, but bear in mind and rest assured that come 2021, the world will reopen, we can get rid of COVID, you can stay safe, and we all can get together next year in the Rupununi for the real lights.
And we're going to see you there so you can make some memories of your own.
Stay tuned because we got more memories coming.
When you feel that the kite so down, there's more kites so to come. When you feel that the kite so down, there's more kites so to come. When you feel that the kite so down, there's more kites so to come. And when you feel that the kite so down, there's more kites so to come. Gina, Dinah, Rosita, and Clementina sing the song of the corner posing. Catch them broken, you can get them all for nothing. Don't make a road, mama. Yankees gone and Sparrow take over now. Hey!
Hi, my name is Andrew Campbell. I'm a volunteer with the Rupununi Music and Arts Festival. I born in Maruka, Santa Rosa Mission, which is an indigenous community located in the northwest region of Guyana. I met George for the first time in 2007 at Career Day in the art faculty at the University of Guyana, and since then we have bonded. My most memorable experience with him is working on the therapeutic site in Burby's Ribbon Plantation Pierboom, which is known today as Double Ranch. George has influenced my life in many ways. His simplicity is one thing that has stuck with me. His kindness and his devotion to ensuring everyone becomes knowledgeable in certain areas, and also his encouragement. I think those are some of the things that have stuck with me over the years.
I can't go without doing this song. We come across the Caribbean Sea. Mother, father, picnic. Settled down in GT. Why ho? We been down on the coastal plain in the hot sun and pouring rain, and we planted the rice and cane. Why ho? Yes, we take off the boots and we put on the roots. Why ho? So the crabwood that grow in the Sequebo is we own. The six-a-rugby and the sakirinki is we own. And the lava that run from Govayagon is we own. And the wall of a post and the Corazin coast is we own. Arapaima, Black Bush Boulder, Humanayana is we own. Sematu Vine is we own. Masquerade wine is we own. Humanayana is we own. Whether groove or whether pleasance, we know pagua and confidence, and we know how to wine and prance. Why ho? And then we said the great Diwali, and when it's time for march from money, it's party, party, party. Why ho? Yes, we know how to cut till we underwear wet. Why ho? So the crabwood that grow in a sickly boys we ho. And the six-a-rugby and the saki-winky is we ho. The lava that run from Govayagon is we own. And all of them are one of a boss of the Corazin coast is we own. Arapaima is we own. Black Bush Boulder is we own. Humanayana is we own. Truly Benab is we own. Bundary Crab is we own. Humanayana is we own. Chip, sugar cake and saltfish and bake is we own. Mutton curry and two palari is we own. Barbie and nice black pudding and rice is we own. Coconut natachi and riri is we own. Babolad harichan with the kurta in the hand is we own. Alexander Winnie and the blue dashiki is we own. Frankie Minis and the boom boom cheese is we own. All right, all right. And next one here. Let me ask you again. Put up your hand in the crowd. Who know what is boom boom cheese? Put up your hand. 6 people. Boom boom cheese. But you see, this is history. Boom boom cheese is the thing that the Portuguese people bring. I had nothing to do with it. Portuguese will bring it here years ago. And Vum Vum cheese is the stinkiest smelling cheese God ever make. I think they call it Limburg. I mean, it do stink, stink, stink. Let me tell you how stink Vum Vum cheese is. They had a cake shop in Main Street. Farage. Who remember that? Two people, you see. I show my age here. Farage had a cake shop. Used to sell all kind of things. He had a showcase in front of us. Salara, coconut bun, all kind of thing. And right at the end, so he had Vum Vum cheese. And you know, I mean, we got face facts, right? It's Guyana. The cake shop had 1 or 2 flies. You know, you can't run around from there. There used to be flies in the cake shop. All in the case. But you see at the end there with the Vum Vum cheese there? Not a fly. 2 or 3 flies, you see there? They fall up on the ground dead to rust from the Vum Vum cheese. So that is your history. Now it ain't there no more, you know. And I said, thank God, because it smells bad in truth. But that is to show you the history of some of these things. When you're saying it's we own, you gotta claim the good stuff, and you gotta claim Vum Vum cheese, right? Okay. So where are you going back? Frankie Minis and the Vum Vum cheese is we own. And the lawyer in town named Lee Funky Fung is we own. And the fellas in the tree watching cricket for free is we own. The brothers in the night preaching Jordan night is we own. And Mary and Paul up on the seawall is we own. And the girl foot fine but lordship behind is we own. Arab Island is we own. Blackbush Folder is we own. The Human Island is we own. Abadna Penus is we own. Five Finger Juice is we own. Human Island is we own. Marapaima is we own. Blackbush Folder is we own. Human Island is we own.
Well, Luke, George, Auntie Di, it has been a pleasure hosting y'all for this special virtual edition of the festival. We couldn't be together physically, but we still were able to get some nostalgia from all these wonderful memories over the years.
Years of wonderful memories indeed. Started from Rockview and then on to Manari and Georgetown. Yes. Remember, please donate. And remember also that in 2021 we're going to be heading back out to the Savannah, to Rupununi Savannah. So make sure you're there. Donate, please. And thank you so much for being part of Rupununi Music and Art Festival 2020. It was really fun having you, and I know you had a wonderful time, and look forward to making even more memories in the years to come.
A big special thank you to everyone that tuned in, to all y'all, to all our sponsors, to all our volunteers over the years, to all the artists whose clips we've used, to our patrons who've supported us, to you, the general public, for donating so that we can continue to keep the festival alive. We've had so much good memories over the years, and we will continue to create great memories, whether it's virtually or in the Rupununi, both. Look out for more virtual editions of our festival and specials over the next coming months as we prepare for the real deal in the Rupununi.
And stay COVID-free, wear your masks, practice social distancing so that we can all relive these memories again next year.
See y'all, everybody.